Hi, my name is Larry Baldridge, golf instructor at the Mitchell Golf Performance School. Today we're going to talk about how to best use the Mitchell golf equipment. All right guys, I'm going to introduce you to one of Mitchell's shaft pullers. This is called the Easy Commercial Puller. The first club I'm going to show you how to pull here is a fairway wood. When registering, you want to make sure that the face is pointing down. Also, when registering, you want to make sure that there's the proper setting for the size of hosel you're going to be pushing on. If you're bending hybrids, fairway woods, or even irons, they have different sizes of hosels. So what you can do is remove this bolt and adjust depending on the size of the hosel. Most of your woods, fairway woods and drivers will require the smallest setting to push against the hosel. And when tightening on the shaft, make sure you don't over tighten. Ideally, what we want to do in most cases is remove the ferrule first. When removing the ferrule, I use a heat gun to warm up the plastic ferrule before I cut it off. So when using a heat gun, make sure to position this only about an inch away, and we're only going to leave this on the ferrule for about 10 seconds at most. Next, a technique I use is using a hook blade and carefully cutting into the ferrule. Next, remove the ferrule, and now you're ready to start pushing on the head. When heating up the club head, make sure that you're about an inch away from the hosel. Again, you're going to use somewhere around 20 to 30 seconds of heat to break down the epoxy. All right, so after about 20 to 30 seconds of heating up the hosel, I'm going to take the T-handle here and start to twist and push this head off. If you notice right away that the head is moving, you can immediately cut the heat, you've broken down the epoxy, and you can continue to allow the puller to push the head entirely off. Do not force or twist that head off at the end. So now that the head is removed from the shaft, you can remove the shaft from the puller. And what I always like to do for the next time I use this, whether it's the club right after it or another day down the road, is back this puller all the way up to the body here so that it's ready to pull for the next job. All right, now what I'm going to pull is an iron. This happens to be a graphite shafted iron. This puller is primarily used for graphite so you don't cause any damage. However, it can be used for steel shafted clubs as well. The next thing we want to make sure is that the actual setting of the puller is correct to the iron I'm pulling. For this iron, I'm actually going to adjust this to the third largest size. Again, when registering, make sure that the face is down, and always be aware of clamping into the shaft. Again, same thing here. I'm going to use the heat gun and apply heat to the ferrule to remove. As a reminder, when applying heat to the ferrule, angle the heat so that it's avoiding warming up the shaft. You can use two different heat sources. One would be your heat gun, gets up to about 1500 degrees. The second would be a butane torch. Those get up to around 2400 degrees. Now, depending on the finish of the head is what you'll use to choose your heat source. If you've not done many shaft pulls at all, I would recommend using a heat gun at all times. For some of the more seasoned builders out there, be careful, but you can use the torch. One thing to note for any club makers out there or consumers who want to buy this unit that there are some replaceable pads that will wear out over time. It does take a while, but they do wear out. So we can send replacement pieces to you, and they're very simple to remove and install. If you like these videos, make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, and like us on Facebook.